Hi everybody, it's Christina from Card Making Magic. So over the last few videos we've been using the nested fancy frames, and this is a set that consists of rectangles, ovals, circles and squares. There are also two different word sets in this. Now we've done videos on these three. Today I'm going to use the squares, and I've added all these videos into a playlist on YouTube, and it's labelled Nested Fancy Frames. Now also in this video I'm going to be using the double-sided border and the bow. So these are the dies that are in the pack. The picture on the packet is a lot smaller than the actual size. So this die now will cut you this shape, and I've cut it twice in white because I want to make that as my base shaped card, and I've done two more, one in white and one in lilac. Now using these two dies together will give you this shape, and that then can be backed onto this one to create a really nice panel for your cards. Now using these together, there's three dies there now together, that will give you that frame and that separate piece. And then using this one on its own will give you this piece. Using it with this one will give you this piece and that shape as well. So you've got lots of choices there on how you want to layer them up. Now if you wanted to fold a piece of A4 card in half and place your die over the edge so that the cutting edge is just off the card, that will keep it joined at the top and create a card for you that will stand in tenfold. But I'm going to do it this way, and this is creating two pieces that I'm now going to glue together. So we need to match them up the same there, and then we're going to score one of them at the top. So I have my two pieces with the right sides facing each other, and I'm going to place one of them onto my scoreboard, and I'm going to score it. Now along that score line I need to fold it, and I need to fold it both ways so that it's pliable. Now along that, make sure that we've got the right side facing outwards. Along there we're going to add some glue. And then marrying the pieces up, we're going to add them together. Make sure that it's all nice and neat, and make sure that that's fastened down. And now that will also give you a card that stands in tenfold. If you do it this way, you will need to create another piece that will sit on the top and hide where you've cut this off. So we can pop all our pieces on one side for now, and we're going to bring in another A4 piece of card. So I've folded it in half, and the top panel I've folded back again, and that's going to sit like this. Now I don't want this die, this card, to be any bigger than this panel, because that's where that's going to sit. So we can trim this off at the bottom and create our card that size. So there are my two card bases ready to decorate. Now for this one I've found some patterned paper, and I've created a panel that is going to sit in the back of the card, and that's just going to leave a small border just around the edges. Now for the front of this, I want the white panel going on the lilac one, and for the front of this one I want the white panel with the lilac on it. Now I've also cut from this paper, I have cut this shape, and that's going to sit in there. So I have all my pieces glued in place. Now before I add this to the card, I need to decide where it's going to sit on there. And I need to reduce this panel by this much on these 3 sides. So I'm just going to take some scissors and I'm going to cut down this fold and across the top. And that's reduced that panel down by the pencil marks. So now when I fold it and I add this piece of card to it, I'm only going to glue it on this side, and that now will look as if it's floating on the front of the card. So we have this piece in place now, and I've also added another piece of matching card to the other side. So that's all completed. That's all ready now to decorate. Now with this one, you can just add this to the top of your card, or you can fold the top piece in half again, and you can create an easel card. So of course you would need to put a stop in there to stop it from sliding open, but that's an easel card, so that's another way you can decorate this design. But I'm just going to add this now to the top of my card. Now, so as not to waste this easel card, I've created 2 more panels. One will sit on the front and the other one will need to go inside. Now because you created this with the A4 folded, this is going to be too long, and so your card won't close. So you'll need to trim off the top piece with some scissors or your trimmer, and then you can fit this inside your card. And now that will fit in there, it will marry up with the patterns, and this will now close. So this will now get glued along that piece there, and that will get glued to the front of the card, like so. So before we do any decorating, we have 3 different styles of cards. We have an easel card, a floating card, and a tent fold one. But we're also going to make a slimline card. So this is a DL size, and I'm going to stay with the same colour scheme. So I've cut a smaller panel that will sit on there, and I've cut a white panel that will sit on the top. And this one I've put through an embossing folder. Now from the smallest of the dies, which is this one, I have cut, and this one, I have cut myself 3 frames, and they're going to sit on my card. And then from the border die, I have cut myself 2 of the patterns. Now they will need to be joined because obviously it's not long enough to fit on the front. So find the pattern that marries up and glue those 2 together, and that will give you a border now that's long enough to go around your card. And then from the bow die, I have cut a solid piece and a filigree piece, and the same there. And then with these that are left, I have edged one in lilac, but I don't know if I'll use that yet, but I've got the other 2 that are just plain white. So one of those will go on the front of my card. So let's make this card up as well. So there are my pieces glued together. This is from the bow, and this is from the border die, and I've glued those 2 together. So I'm going to glue all these together, not this. I'm going to glue all these panels together and fit them on my card. Now for the bow, you need to put a curve in it, and then you need to add a spot of glue to the middle, and you need to fold that piece in. Don't bend it, just curve it in. So we'll just curve that into there, and then we'll use some tweezers just to hold that together while the glue sets up. So once your bow has set up, add some glue to the middle and take this long thin piece and just wrap it around the middle and bend it back. Now you may need to trim it off. Let's just get some scissors and trim that down. And then add a spot of glue to the back and bend the other piece around there. And that's the centre to your bow. Now once you've done that, you need to put another spot of glue on the back and just add it to the downtails there. And again, pop your tweezers on until that sets up. But there you've got a really pretty bow that's going to sit on your card. Now I've glued these two together, but I haven't added them to the card yet, and this is where this now comes in, and these. So what we're going to do is we're going to add these to the card, so there's one on each end and there's one in the middle. And then we're going to weave this ribbon through the centre to hold those in place. So I've decided to create a double ribbon strip for mine. So I've cut a piece in lilac, I've cut a piece in white, and on the top of it I'm going to add this. And that will make that stand out a little bit more on my card. So now with all these pieces ready, we need to put these three onto the front of the card. And we're going to just make sure they're nice and equal. They need to overlap the top one in place, and then we're going to bring this up through that side and down through that side, and still keep them equally spaced. And then once you've done that, you can glue those in place. So you could glue these in place first on the top and the bottom, and then weave the ribbon through it. That would be probably a lot easier. So we'll just put a little spot of glue along here, and we'll put that there. Make sure it's level and straight. We'll do the one on the other side. That's it. And we'll glue the one in the middle. Now this just makes it easier for you to get that ribbon in place. So we'll keep that like that. Now we can bring this up through there and down that side. And make sure it's nice and level in the middle. And then once you've done that, you can just either tuck the ends behind or trim them off. It's entirely up to you. But I'm just going to glue mine in place. Just along there. I'm not bothered about gluing in the centre, because that's not going to go anywhere. There we are. And now we can just tuck that behind. And that one. Now I'm going to add this to the card with some foam tape. Now obviously those are going to be quite deep, so I don't need foam on the top of those. So I can put the foam along the sides. Just some along the sides there, and just a little bit in the middle to just balance it out. And now we can add this to the top of the card. Make sure it's got a nice equal border around the sides. There we go. So that's now 4 cards we've got made. Now for this one I've used the centre pieces that came out of these as the stop for my easel, and in the middle I'm going to add this panel along there. On this one, this is the card that matches the inside, and that's going to sit along there. And on this one I'm going to add this, and I'm going to add them all in with foam tape. So there's one last final card. I have another DL size, and I have another filigree pattern on top of some white. So what I'm going to do is cut this in half, and we're going to change the shape of it because at the moment that won't fit on a DL card. So we'll change the shape of that and make it fit. So once you've cut this in half, your imagination can run riot. You could create another card, do an embossed panel, and just use one of the pieces along there and wrap that with a ribbon and then a bow, and add in a sentiment to the top, and that's another card. Now for this one, what we're going to do with this one is take both pieces and keep them together, and you're going to find the middle of those again, just as we did with the rectangles one. So there's about the middle, so we'll cut down the middle of both of these, and then we can create our other card shape. So I've cut these two panels down, and I'm going to add them to an A6 size card instead of a DL. Now you can add them this way, which just reduces the size, or you can add them this way, which puts the pattern into the centre. And I can't resist using the DL card as well. So this is the other half a panel that we've got left, and I'm going to cut this in half as well. And once I've done that, I'm going to add these to this DL front. So I'm going to put one at the bottom and one at the top. So we'll glue those in place and then we'll trim them off. So there we have another card, and this is just another way of using up all the bits that you've got left and using your dies in different ways to get as much as you can from the set that you've bought. So let's have a look at all the cards that we've created. So this is our floating card. This is our top folding card. This is our easel card. And this is the one that we've just made with the little panels facing each other. So now we've got a happy birthday sentiment on that. From some silver holographic card, I've cut all my sentiments and I've added them onto some parchment. So I'm going to add these to my cards. We'll add the bow in there. We'll have thank you there. No, we'll have best wishes there. And we'll have thank you there because that will stand out a little bit more. And then over here we'll have well, I've got some more left. We've got good luck. Let's have a see what stands out better. We'll have good luck on that one, and we'll have love you on this one. And then we can dress them up with flowers and pearls. So I'm just going to go away now and add in all these sentiments. Now these top three cards have got pre-arranged displays on them, but for these at the bottom I'm going to just add in some more flowers. So let's over here, let's go around the words and we'll add in a big one, some lemon ones and some small roses. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flowers there. On this side we'll add these, I think. We'll leave that one as it is. And we need some leaves to push into this as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we might just find another trailing one that comes down the side. And there we've found a lilac one. So we'll push this in as well. We'll just trim it down a little bit. And we'll push this in as well at the bottom, and that can just curve around. And then on this one we'll have some lilac and lemon ones at the bottom, and we'll repeat that process at the top. And then we'll put some small roses into the display as well, just to keep the numbers uneven. There we go. And we'll find some green leaves and put those into the displays as well. So once I've got my flowers in place, I'm going to just dot the flowers with some glue, and then I'm going to add some glitter. Now the flowers at the top were done a long time ago, and if you can see, the glue has dried clear and the glitter lies flat. They've also got hat pins pushed into these. Now if you just wait for the glitter, or rather the glue, to dry, you can then take a soft brush to your card and just brush off any loose glitter. You can add pearls or diamantes to these if you wish to finish them off, but I think those now look fine just as they are. So there are my cards, all created in the same colour scheme, and I've used the words from the Thoughtful Words and the Special Words sentiments. Now, part of the Nested Fancy Frames die set, this is a new collection. We have ovals, rectangles and circles, and I've done videos on all of these that are on my channel. Today we've used the squares. The only other dies that I've used are the double-sided border frame and the bowl. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please join me on the next one. And why not subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell, and then you'll always be aware when I add a new video. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.